Yeah, another one of those cases where the heroes, I mean, of course, you always say hindsight is 20/20, but what I'm hearing is at the same time, there's always an argument for both heroics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very rare that you would say, oh, in this edition, 100% one heroic was absolutely better. It's just more like, well, you know, there were these advantages. You know, it depends also on how you play it, like you said. But like Todd mentioned, I like that you bring that up because I did want to go back to that. The fact that TL, like Blastcore, Blastcore, best Zeratul, he just doesn't perform that one game where it matters.
Exactly.
And now they're not able to have a chance to qualify to BlizzCon, and there it is.
Ta-da!
Yeah, despite that, though, I mean, that's the power of Zeratul. Despite that, he keeps coming back because you know that if you play him well, you will win. That's the incentive.
And on Battlefield of Eternity, it's not even supposed to be one of the best maps for Zeratul, but it's just such a good hero and with such a high skill cap that if played well, it doesn't even really matter what map we're on. Those VPs, they're going to be very impactful no matter what. And again, he's going to have a lot of, I guess, expectations here on his shoulders.
Get it? Those VPs from VP. Get it? Anyway, go on, Kendrick. Sorry, I had to cut you out there.
Oh, no problem. I'll take that for such a...
Yeah, VP's performance last game was a little bit unstable.
Right. And G2 going ahead and picking up Giant of the Arc right away. So just tonight, I mean, those two have been kind of the highlight in this warrior-centric meta.
Really good control over the lanes on this point, and also like something to note is that they are always doing bonus damage to the Immortal when they're able to get there, not only having the strong tanky lineup that they have, so they can defend an Immortal while still doing big damage to it.
Yeah, and once again, you know, something that I wanted to say earlier, Todd, Zeratul, you need to take, you know, advantage of while he's still in his current form, because as we know in the next patch that's soon to arrive, a lot of changes going to happen to that fella.
Skill cap's even higher.
Even higher. Absolutely.
Higher, yeah. I mean, and that's what's going to make it fun.
Kendrick, when you see Leoric and Johanna picked by G2, what are you thinking?
I think that they have the best wave killer in the world.
Yes, but also that Asmodan could be great, even though it's not a very good map necessarily for it.
Todd's trying to bait us into hoping for that Asmodan again.
I'm down for it.
If you keep on mentioning it every time and then it happens one time, that's when it comes.
That's the only one that people remember. This is true.
I'm not down for it on this map, guys. Sorry, I'm not feeling it.
It's definitely one of the best maps here.
It's a wild card, definitely.
2-lane maps like Battlefield of Eternity,
right?
They don't call for good Asmodan stats.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we'll see though. But like you said, the options there, but probably not as ideal given the battleground you're on here for the third game in this best of 3. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, once again, we're seeing 2 teams down to 1 single game to see who gets to reach the top 4 of the Heroes of the Storm European Championship. In case you missed it, that the third pick coming in from VP, it was Kel'Thas. So we have Kel'Thas, Tyrael, and Zeratul so far on the side of Virtus.pro. And for now, just the 2 sturdy warriors for G2.
Whoever wins here will play a best of 5 in semifinals against Navi.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Just comes down to 1 best of 5 in the end.
Yeah, I mean, the later half of today is going to be very exciting. I think everyone's really looking forward to that because the full best of 5 to see who gets to go to Anaheim, California to play in the World Championship is pretty amazing. Now, Malfurion Impact comes out yet again. We're seeing it quite often today.
No, it's not happening this time. No.
What does that mean, James?
It's not happening this time. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to break the hype train, but I'm pretty sure it won't happen this game. Well, I mean, this isn't near enough as great a map as Vikings will be on something like Cursed Hollow, of course.
So let's give you a chance to shine then. What are you expecting?
That's a tough one at the moment.
Well, you know, but I like that you bring that up because it's kind of what we joked about with Asmodan too, right? It's like, yeah, the options there, but, you know, given that, again, it is just 2 lanes and how the map objective works, probably not going to be as useful.
Personally, I would like to see a Zagara on this map. I think Zagara provides great vision towards the middle center of the map when fighting for Immortals. He provides great sustained damage, even from a safe range.
Can we talk about Jaina being picked this late here in a draft like this?
What do you make of that? I mean, do you think it's partly just the battleground? Because, I mean, Jaina's also one of those heroes that's, quite frankly, if you can just play her around your team, the battleground's not going to matter as much. She has so much utility on top of her damage.
Yeah, by far one of the most popular picks for months and months. She's basically good at...
Okay. Well, I mean, for one, Jaina's still not picked, but Raynor comes back into the fray, and Karasim, of course, has been a special today.
Raynor actually suffers from similar causes as Asmodan on this map. 2 lanes only to stack those marksman stacks. So maybe he's going for, you know, for the improved E, more healing. Give me more.
Okay. All right, could be. As we take a look at Raynor here, that's the thing about Raynor is in some ways he's pretty standard. You're pretty auto attack based, and you have a self heal.
One thing that's very important about Raynor on this map is that once you're actually able to seal yourself an immortal, Hyperion is extremely powerful, coupling it up with an immortal. You can zone out your opponents from actually dealing with the immortal itself, and also provide great siege damage along with it.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the utility kind of coming into play here. And we of course, happens all the time. Again, once again, Uther slipping all the way through alongside Jaina.
Just so to point out, like, there is still the potential of Vikings. And I'll tell you why. because Karazim actually they chose Karazim over Uther as the healer. Why would they be doing this if they didn't want extra AoE healing over something like an Uther? Murden's going to come out, which actually deals with Raynor okay, if you can actually take Reverberation and get on top of him, but...
I can't believe Jaina wasn't picked or banned.
Yeah, I mean...
It's never happened, ever.
Yeah, I mean, never in the history of Heroes of the Storm have we not seen Jaina being picked. It looks like she's just not going to be seen at all in this game.
On this map, though, it takes a while for her to really unfold her full potential. I mean, she's very immobile, and if you get stunned by the Immortal as a Jaina early on, it's really hard to actually make it away safely, unless, of course, she gets that Ice Block at low 16.
Ooh, and Tassadar. Okay. Haven't seen him too much. But what do you make of this then? So, first of all, it's not the Vikings, and the AoE heal is that, I mean, what value does Karazim have now then over Uther that G2 would have prioritized that? I mean, do we see anything blatant there? Because it doesn't seem that intuitive for someone who might, who would just be following the professional scene. You would automatically assume Uther.
I think on this map, you're going to be pretty clumped up a lot of the time when fighting for those Immortals. You're going to be in like small alleys and chokes.
Okay.
So having like a group heal, like Karazim does have, I think he's going to come in really handy at times. And also, yeah, I guess either it's a Divine Palm or a Seven-Sided Strike. Both right now seem to really do a lot in a lot of these games. And since Karazim's new, you look at it and you're like, well, like he's pretty good. It seems like we have more teams than just Dignitas who are realizing the true strength of Karazim.
I know what it is. It's my time to shine, boys. It's the Mana Karazim build that's coming out. They're going to be extended fights around the Immortal. Wait, he's going to use all that mana.
Did Karazim actually have a mana trait?
Oh, didn't you know? You have to unlock it by being a special type of player. It's the third trait of a host. you guys just wait, right? We had this whole talk about how Genius is, you only need 1 year to shine. It's coming, boys.
I can't wait until you stream some Heroes of the Storm show, bro. I'm going to tune in for sure.
My Mana Karazim is 3-1. I'm just saying. 75% win rate, that's not bad.
It makes me shake my head so sadly. Oh, no.
So, all joking aside, though, I mean, Todd, you bring up a good point that, yeah, you are going to fight right in the center. You're usually always going to be grouped up. So, in that sense, I guess it would make sense. But on the other side, at the same time, are we seeing that much AoE damage come out from the side of Virtus.pro?
From the side of Virtus.pro. I mean, having Zeratul in there for a cleave, having Kael'thas in there for the chain bomb as well is something that is very, very powerful. I actually think the Tassadar is not too bad a pickup here, not only to be able to keep vision on where your opponents are going to be, setting themselves up in the huge area in the middle of a map where sometimes you can just be caught completely off guard and flanked very easily. And also, he does provide great AoE damage himself, not only with Psystorm, but also with the Archon.
Yeah, it seems like Zeratul, by the way, either does really well or really bad.
That's true.
Yeah. Which is it going to be?
It's a hit or miss. I mean, you guys mentioned it earlier, too, that it usually depends on that Zeratul player once he comes in.
The Tassadar pick is actually very interesting because if he gets mental acuity on level 4, he's going to be revealing a lot while Zeratul's around, and it's going to be nice.
We've seen both variants yesterday already. We've seen Healing Ward and Acuity. So against the Zeratul, obviously Acuity makes a little bit more sense, but Tassadar, I think he's back from that state where a lot of teams and a lot of players thought he was not viable at all.
Now that you've brought it up, then I want to ask one question before we jump into the game. It's, it used to always be said that, even in quick matches, people always give the advice, if there's Zeratul Nova, pick Tassadar, like if you're playing Hero League. How does a Zeratul player play around that then, at that point? I mean, are you just like, all right, well, that's it, like, that's done, I'm no longer stealth?
Got to play less risky. I mean, sometimes we saw it kind of before in some of the games where Zeratuls are just used as a scouting tool alone to, in essence, find out where their opponents are, find that kind of position if they're a little bit farther forwards. You can't do that against Tassadar that much. It can be very, very difficult because the Oracle itself, with Mental Acuity, the 20-second reduction on the cooldown is very, very powerful.
Yeah, so I would probably play a little bit more from the backline, waiting for his opportunity rather than making it himself. We'll have to wait and see. All eyes on Zeratul. Will he make it for Virtus.pro or break it for Virtus.pro? Time to find out in the last game of this best of 3 with none other than, of course, Solid Jake and Grubby.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, we're going into the final game of the series to find out who will move on or who will be eliminated here in the Europe Road to BlizzCon 2015. And Groby, what do you think about these two drafts?
Well, we were kind of discussing about it. They have two different objectives, right? Raynor composition is a very sustained comp with Tassadar. They are going to be fighting over the objective.
Right.
And the other side...
It's more the team fight, right? It's all about the lockdown. So much team fight potential for Virtus.pro, but that's really where they excel. But I'm super intrigued to see how well it's going to work out having Johanna, Leoric, two very powerful heroes when it comes to controlling these objectives.
Yeah, and they are on the side of G2. They're fighting for the tournament life here. Match point. Leo from Korea, Nicker, Zihu, Joey, and Basek on Karazin, Tassadar, Leoric, Johanna, and Raynor. A very sturdy composition without much weakness or fragility when they are together. Zeratul, he will try to break them apart.
Yeah, and that'll be played by Zepka. that's Virtus.pro, of course. Andy Lenny going to be playing Kael'thas, Kunichan on Tyrael, Unstable, playing Uther in BKB on Murden, their warrior player. Now, this is a really pivotal point for both teams, right? It's crucial to win this year because this is your last chance for BlizzCon. And honestly, knowing both of these teams, the way they like to approach the game, I think they're probably feeling confident. And it's just going to come down to who executes better. We've talked about the story of Zeratul all day. He kind of make or breaks a lot of games.
Wow, look at this. A 5 versus 4 attempt here. As they don't get immediate success. You only have 2 seconds to make that work before you would start to lose prohibitively much experience in the top lane. And Zeratul goes to the top. A 4 versus 4 here. A stun Stormbolt there on Kunichan. Gravity Lapse follow up. Flame Strike. He takes 60% damage, but manages to rotate away there. Leo from Korea. And the dust settles without too much happening there.
Okay, a few things to note in this game. We do see Uther going for reach. This is something that typically happens if you have a melee assassin on your team. Zeratul, in this case, going to be quite nice in these situations. But they will have a little less mana regen. But wow, a beautiful lockdown onto Tassadar. The living bomb will explode the moment the dimensional shift wears off.
Yeah, he was invincible and invisible, but actually he was able to be traced there by the Murden player BKB, but it was enough already with the bomb exploding. Notice, by the way, that Zeratul also picked block here, recognizing not that many collection time in this game, and it wants to just be a little bit more survivable.
It's really intelligent, but based on the battleground and based on the enemy heroes. I mean, you look at someone like Raynor alone, that's enough reason to pick up block.
And then you have Archon, who in his power spike has very powerful, double as powerful auto attacks. And if you can block half of that twice with block every 8 to 5 seconds, that's fantastic. Now, Immortals are spawning. How do we want to do this? Every trade will be won by G2. If they go 5 in the attack versus 5 in the attack, G2 will win. So you see Virtus.pro defending here. That's what they need to do. Try and force the fight. Zeratul comes in. Andy Landy here, isolated. And he's going to get taken down by Leoric.
The Drain Hope actually gets that takedown. Leo from Korea low in the backside, and Druid's Bite going for it. Tyrael gets the takedown. The boss will get the stun off there. Leoric, though, with Wraithwalk going for Zeratul. Sidestorm, not enough, and Stormbolt buys enough time to save the Zeratul player.
Zihu now takes a Hammer of Justice to the face, but Tassadar's shield was still there to protect him. Sefka quickly going to Hearthstone back, and here is the problem with a warrior like Murden. He can go to the top lane and try and soak some XP, but it's going to take him about 15 seconds to clear that wave immediately. Zihu follows, and he can do it in about 5 seconds or so. There we go with that skeletal swing.
Skeletal swing that takes Spawn and Johanna. Just a lot of power with those two heroes when it comes to the lane clear, like you mentioned, but now they need to get back here to defend their Immortal. A lot of damage going up, but a beautiful Gravity Blast being thrown onto Leo, who's able to blink on out of there, but Zeratul going into the backline. No, excuse me, Tyrael with Aldruin's Might.
Yeah, very fluid play there from Leo for Korea, and he extricates himself from the situation. Murden has already come here. This is a 5 versus 4, and they take down Johanna for their efforts. Defense complete. In the meantime, Leoric is doing the top lane, though. He's pushing all the way to the gate, depleting those towers from ammunition. But this gives a small time for Virtus.pro to start doing 50% of damage and force the Immortal to rotate. But actually, it's G2 who gets that first.
The halftime show, as I like to call it here, between the two Immortals now swatching places, and it's going to be focused just from both teams. A race which looks very much in favor of G2, burning down the health pool of this Immortal.
Yeah, they're always going to win such... Wait? Yeah, they won. I think they're always going to win such trades because of Inspire. Raynor giving attack speed with that W ability that he has Inspire to all of his allies. So they will get the Immortal. But it is worth it to whittle down the opponent's Immortal as much as possible, as that will remove the shield that he has when he spawns.
Okay, speaking to the talents quickly, Hard and Bones picked up for Leoric just for more sustain when it comes to retreating in these battles. And we actually have Healing Ward for Tassadar. Healing Ward, a talent that's not quite as popular as it used to be, but when it comes to these guaranteed team fights over the Immortal, it has a great power in those fights.
Yeah, it's a great fallback point to go to Heal Ward and just heal up a bit and, until you feel ready again to jump into battle. Now, it used to be a common strategy to push with the Immortal. New Battlegrounds often have an over-evaluation of the objective, but as we see now, they are using the newer style where they're pushing S4 on the opposite side, recognizing it's quite a long and drawn-out map, and if you're defending at the top, you can do a nice vanilla push with 4 people at the bottom.
And it looks, I mean, it worked out great for them. They now have close to a level lead, picking up those level 7 talents right now. But in response, it's just going to be both teams splitting up and picking up some mercenary camps. The Fallen Shaman on the side of Virtus.pro, and G2 pick up those bottom siege camp.
Rainier going for Revolution Overdrive, being more mobile there, getting movement speed bonus, static charge for Tassadar, an important auxiliary extra damage dealer. Now we have the 4 versus 4 again. Virtus.pro about to reach level 7, which will give Zeratul his follow-through or first aid. There we go, with the follow-through, so he can't keep himself alive very well in that top lane. Leoric pushing in hard. And we see some mercenary camp capture. But the aggressive attack by Virtus.pro, the backstab there. Are they going to give it away for free? Leoric isn't here. It's a 5 versus 4. Johanna plugging the gap here. Sefka jumps on that camp, and with BKB as well. Joey unwilling to give it up, but that seems to be a mistake.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage, but they managed to trade out Kael'thas, falling early in this battle, 4v5 in their favor. And suddenly Zeratul gone down as well. This would be a tragic situation here for Virtus.pro, trying to steal the camp, lose 2 heroes. Now they are in full-on retreat and unsuccessful in picking up that mercenary camp.
Oh no, oh nice peel there by BKB, but unstable. No, there's too many people mounted up, running after him. One has to question whether Andy Lendy on the Kael'thas had to particularly stand on that objective. There was enough body blockers already with Sefka, with BKB on the Murden, and maybe that was a little bit too overconfident.
Yeah, just a little over anxious too. It seems like they're trying to like take the advantage early and getting too aggressive in these fights, in these situations. Like Zeratul blinked into the battle with less than half of his health, and that's always a risky thing to do. You want to save Blink early game prior to Wormhole to get out of the fights, not get in.
Yep, exactly. Well, now, that's usually a mistake that's made in random games with stranger teammates, not with communication. Standing with everyone on that circle there gave some nice condemns to Johanna. G2 now looking at level 10 already, defending their Immortal and soaking the top lane with Johanna and Leoric. Virtus.pro seems quite anxious to attack, but you have an attacker's disadvantage since the boss has that area of effect stun and littering stuns around herself at a range as well.
And the big problem being level 10 around the corner for G2, about to have that heroic advantage over their opponents. Virtus.pro doesn't have much of a choice but to try to split and soak, and now Indy Lendy is caught out of position. The stun being thrown up, beautiful body blocks. Yeah, and the static charge Sidestorm gonna blow him up.
Fantastic move by Joey and Bashek, particularly Joey. They're catching out Andy Lendy. Goes down again, and now we have a level 10, and that pretty much guarantees the Immortal capture for G2.
Okay, well, we have those heroics, and it's gonna be pretty much you'd expect. It is 7-sided strike on Karazim, just so much more power on this team.
Yeah, and Black Marsh, Hyperion, Archon, and Blessed Shield. Lots of offensive and damaging heroics. Level 9 now for Virtus.pro. They're just sharking around here. They can't do too much. Note that they've situated one of their heroes in each lane, and as this one finishes, they have to be careful. Joey coming in here, Kunichan, he's a pretty movable hero. He's quite mobile. Oh,
he is trying to slip into the shadows. He's trying to buy time for his team. Now, Tyrael actually will likely get out of this. Actually going to be Hearthing right there.
They weren't sure.
He baited them for a little while, and this is allowing for Virtus.pro to really just get level 10. They want to buy as much time as they can.
Very
get their
good move.
Abilities. Yeah, exactly.
I think they really weren't sure whether he somehow slipped by the net to the right with Elduin's Might. And they didn't want to waste too much time on it. It was a great move. Now level 10 has been reached.
Level 10, yeah, around the corner. They've taken out the wall. Now they need to go back up to the top lane, because if they leave this Immortal alone, it will do far too much damage and expose this top keep, even pressure the health of it.
Sanctification taken by Kuni-chan, and he's waiting here with the flank. Actually, they're not going to Hearthstone. They're going to pile upon them from the back. Kuni-chan jumps in there, does the smite, 7-sided strike goes down.
A ton of damage being laid upon them. The Ancestral heal, the big heal going up, but not enough. Beautiful battlecruiser placement, tearing through the team in the Void Prism. Locks down two members on each side. BKB ready with the defense, but I don't think it's enough, Grubby.
Nicker goes away with a shred of his life, comes back in here maybe to shield his allies. Leo from Korea is going to get caught by Kuni-chan. Will he chase Nicker?
One more hit. Aldruin's Might is not available. He's mounting up Nicker, provides the shield on himself. They're still pushing in. The Immortal tearing through this keep. This could be the earliest fall of the keep we've seen in this tournament, but no, they barely defend it, and just Jiawei staying here in the bottom does end up falling.
Are we going to see some Leoric solo actions here? Maybe you're going to go suicide on that thing again. They have the level lead, slightly.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of experience up, but taking out a keep in a 2-lane map is such a crucial thing. Leoric could be the dream here.
But he decided not to yet. Gonna first clear the wave, the more safe move there. I really thought that he'll just go for it, but he was afraid that he would just look silly and die again.
We can see some of those numbers on the table here. Raynor topping the charts on the blue team, but for Virtus.pro, quite even there for Zeratul staying just behind.
Keep in mind that Andy Landy on Kael'thas there. He'll reach his power spike at level 13 when he gets the chain bomb upgrade to living bomb, starting to spread around that damage a little bit. So he will be a late bloomer, so to speak. G2 rotating to the top. Are they going to get that camp there, the siege camp at the top? That would be what is expected, and that could be what Virtus.pro thinks. They showed themselves there, and it could be quite a surprise. If a backstab was attempted by Virtus.pro, they would run into a very nasty surprise there, meeting all 5 of them in the middle. I think it was a smart move by G2, but it resulted in nothing just at this moment.
And you can just see, like, the position that's forced out of Virtus.pro right now by the fact that the top keep is so vulnerable. They're playing defensively left and right, and this is just going to give G2 so many more opportunities to take advantage of the mercenary games, take advantage of the positioning on the battleground. If you hide in the battle anywhere in the vents, they're just going to expect that top flank rotation towards the keep.
Yeah, that's really awkward for Virtus.pro. And I just have to commend them on their intelligence, not rushing to that top camp there. It looks so obvious that G2 would do it, and they should want to stay at the top to prevent that keep. And they still didn't do it. Oh, whoa, Sigu is going to get fully stun locked, 100 to 0.
Blown up here, and that's a great start for Virtus.pro. They've caught up in terms of experience, and now they're working on the Immortal. This is the first time in which they're sitting in a favorable position during a fight here for the Immortals.
Wow, Basek gonna get jumped hard there by BKB. He's down to, well, he's back up to full life again.
Oh,
that's nice.
So much damage being going down. Basek's gonna end up falling early in this battleground. A big kidnap pulling in the entire team. Divine Shield has been used, but Kuni-chan needs to get out of there. The Ghost will now explode on their opponents, but Uther will also end up falling, and it is Virtus.pro on the retreat.
A huge black march there by Leoric and Tassadar with the Archon damage. Suddenly it turns on its heel. What guts they have to do a 4 versus 5. But if they were to choose a single position, that would certainly be it. You have that Immortal there causing disruption in the enemy flank.
I mean, that's the power of Leoric, though. He's the one that picked off, and he came back in the middle of the fight, marched with the Black King, actually just tearing through their health pools. His trait makes him so valuable in any state of the game.
Yeah, it's almost like you should expect that you're still playing a 5v5 when Leoric died. Just be happy with the XP you got, but stay careful. Note they were attacking the Immortal from the top, so their back was exposed.
Yeah, very true. But now they're back at full power experience. Still quite even in this game. And in terms of heroics, most of the heroics are almost ready here. But Sefka gets blown up so quickly in this fight.
Oh no, that was a bit of a blunder there by Sefka. And he won't be coming back as fast as a Leoric. It looked like a really good position for Virtus.pro, and I feel like they kind of dropped the ball there. Particularly Sefka, he got taken down. No hesitation whatsoever by G2 in finishing him off.
And suddenly G2 is in a phenomenal spot. The Immortal will make its way down the bottom lane, easily tear through that fort, and that's why they're putting themselves in a position to eliminate this top keep, which is just about 2 pokes away.
Yeah, they can just kind of blow on it, and that's going to be it. Shield glare there from Joey, trying to take that down. And there we go with the skeletal swing. Takes a lot of damage, Siku, but it's going to be enough. Wraith walk away, but he's going to get hit by the Stormbolt, and Tyrael body blocking him to perfection. Kuni-chan there. They're going to get Leoric, but that was going to be his fate all along. We knew this was going to happen sometime.
Yeah.
Leoric suiciding on the keep. It's just that it happened right now.
Yeah, but now level 16 has been reached. Leoric, it says a 27 death timer. He'll be back far before that. Getting that big skeletal swing. Taking off a lot of time. And yeah, with this Immortal pushing on in, they can continue to keep this aggression on.
Unstable is going to get caught here by the Subdue, by the Condemn, and will get stunned for a while, taking a bunch of damage, but he will not be finished off. Hyperion here, an excellent siege and zoning tool, doing lots of damage there. Yamato cannons on that keep. Gravity Labs hitting Johanna. BKB jumping the backline, but
he's taking way too much damage. A beautiful seven-sided strike, and now it's a situation in which this could be it for Gamers 2. The final keep remaining here in the bottom lane, being pressured. Archon has been used, but they're backing up away, playing very safely. Their mana still strong enough to keep the fight if they want to, but there's plenty of objectives across the battleground available.
Miscoordination by Virtus.pro. Unstable still had that Divine Shield. One has to question, what is the value of a Divine Shield on BKB, who jumped in pretty much by himself? It would save him, but save him from a mistake, but he was too far away. Unstable and BKB did not coordinate that move. BKB jumping in with a talent disadvantage.
I mean, how many times have we seen that this weekend where Karazim will be focusing on the Murd that dives in, the Sonya that dives in, whichever hero goes in lone, it's a snap call. The instant he dwarf tossed in, we saw the setup for Karazim to dive in and just activate the 7-side strike, tearing through his health.
Yeah, one can only imagine what the team communication will sound like. Murd jumped, he says isolated, activate, all deadly intent.
Okay, well, we do see level 16 has been reached here on the side of Virtus.pro, and they get a little bit more safe. This is when Holy Ground comes into play, and they can get a lot of great positioning opportunities for their team to try to seclude one or two members in these fights. But they're now down, one keep, and their bottom keep is very much exposed, whereas all four of the main fortifications on the side of G2 are still standing strong.
Now, and you remember, hold that thought. BKB jumps in there, he's going to get taken out. 7-sided strike, but Divine Shield is on time this time. Murden will survive. They're going to follow
for Rainer.
Stormbolt misses.
That is a big deal. The fact that he's going to be able to stay alive for a little bit longer. We see Give Me More healing Rainer up to full, it seems. And suddenly all that focus is not paying off. But the Living Bomb going off, exploding, chaining to a few targets. A beautiful Drain Hope in the backline, almost eliminating Andy Lendy. But no, they're able to escape. No one falls in that fight.
Jake, if Stormbolt hit, that will be a guaranteed kill on Andy Lendy. It's those small things, those skill shots, when it really mattered. This time, BKB missed it. Unlucky or poorly executed. But BKB, once again, in the front line. No 7-sided strike yet, so he will not be taken out too easily. Disengaging from that Drain Hope from Leoric there.
Okay, just Phoenix and Archon are available right now. Holy Ground trying to lock out a path. BKB being focused in the back, but a big Condemn once again pulling them in. This double warrior composition, Leoric and Johanna, has been incredibly successful so far for G2.
Kunichan making full use of that Holy Ground there. Siku disengaging, making sure no one is too near when that chain bomb goes off. Who is in a healthier position? We see a full defense from Virtus.pro. This gives G2 some time to heal up from the healing fountain or from the Hall of the Storms. Siku wanted to go for a full Hearthstone, but Leo from Korea says, I got you, man. Giving some heals. BKB, once again, front line, 7-sided strike is up. He's got to be careful.
Got to be careful, but Divine Shield is available this time, and it's going off. Where's the shield? There it is, just in time. They can now try to turn this around. The Phoenix has been thrown out. Seiju taking time damage with the March of the Black King, cleaving two targets twice. Still a good position here on the side, in a big Sanctification goes down. VP as the response.
Sanctification and VP as the response. Now here we see BKB, bullseye by Rainer.
Oh my goodness.
Nicker saves himself with that dimensional shift. BKB in trouble, so is Siku. Are the tanks going to be taken down in tandem? Siku, yes, but BKB survives.
That's a big deal. We saw the shield being used by Andy Lendy to stay alive, but it's the Immortal that's going to go on the side of G2 if they step away for too long. Now, it does have to reset the 50% health. This is going to buy a little bit of an opportunity for Virtus.pro to recollect themselves, get some mana, and get themselves back into this fight.
Yeah, did you see that cute move there by Joey and Siku? Siku revealing that Zeratul was trying to Hearthstone pronto, and Joey using that shield glare to interrupt his Hearthstone, which means Zeratul will be a little bit later to the fight. Yeah. But let's see, a much more healthy Immortal here for G2, and they're going to take down the enemy Immortal.
I mean, we talked about this in the draft. G2's composition was really about winning the objective in this battleground, and I don't think they've lost it a single time in this game, Grubby.
No, I think you're right, and that is, in the end, what's winning them the game here. The team fights have been fairly even with 10 versus 11 takedowns. But look at the fortification progress. Here we're spawning an Immortal. It will always spawn on the side that still has the most intact enemy fortifications. In this case, that's definitely the bottom here. They're going to push in here with that Immortal, and it's starting to scale to be pretty powerful. We're at 18 minutes game time.
This is pretty much a guaranteed dead keep, which means that Virtus.pro is on their last leg for this entire tournament. This defense is going to have to be stellar, Grubby.
Yep, and here they're pushing in here with the Immortal, and Zico doing that Drain Hope on Kuni-chan. He's got 40% damage already. What is BKB going to do? Will the Divine Shield need to be used on him again? So far, they're just trying to damage the Immortal. The keep is a guaranteed death, so it is wise to defend at the core, where you have more of a defender's advantage.
Yeah, but it's always just hard to have to just realize you have to get away. The Muted Blast Shield goes up, forcing out the Divine Shield early. The Void Prison has been used, but can they turn this around? The core being sieged up. We see how locked down Kuni-chan is, and BKB in the backline does manage to get the kill on Reyna early in the battle, but is it too little too late? Nicker, super low himself. BKB trying to retreat. One more hit from that Archon. No, he Dwarf tosses out of the fight, but the core is down to 50% health.
Yeah, and the boss gets taken down, so can G2 finish it off here?
Oh, it is
30%,
so
20%. Virtus.pro is going to go out. G2 is trying to finish off the gamer. Can they? Yes!
I can't believe it, Grubby. Gamers 2 will advance to the next round, the top 4 of the Europe Road to BlizzCon.
Their revenge is complete and their dream